in social distancing seating. So welcome to those that are with us. Welcome to those who are virtual. I have to excuse one board member. Bruce Jardine is absent. He's out of town, and so we'll excuse him. Board member Dean Oborn is virtual. He's on our screens with us in the center. So Dean, welcome. And we have a full quorum. So with that, we do welcome you to our board meeting tonight. And the agendas, I'm sorry you're not posted because we have virtual going on. Having said that, we'd like to get our meeting started tonight with a musical presentation, and I'm going to turn a moment over to our board member, Jan Burrell, for our introduction, please.
Thank you, President. We have a great royal with us tonight, and we have not been able to have live singing, so I really appreciate that she was willing to come. She'll sing our national anthem. Her name is Sage Savaitinaya. And she'll sing the national anthem, and then she'll lead us in the pledge. Thank you, Sage.
I noticed how quick you went this pledge. We need to make sure that you are recognized. You are the first one to be back in our audience in over a year. Needless to say, it's a Roy High Royal. Let's give her another round of applause. Can I ask you one question? Just one. How is school going? And do you want to go back to virtual? Sage, so really quick, what are you a senior? Tell us just really quickly, if you don't mind, how your school year's been. Thank you so much.
By the way, there was no coaching on that.
None. Well, that's kind of why I caught her that way. Thank you so much. We appreciate folks in the room that made a difference to people at Roy High, all those from our superintendent down. I just wanted to use you as an example that says Weber School District did it the right way. Thank you. Thank you. Board, our first item on the agenda would be the consent calendar, and I'd entertain a motion to accept. So moved by Doug,
Second.
second by Jan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Dean, I'm sorry, you're good with
No.
that? You're good with that?
I'm good.
Thank you. Motion carries. The first item on the agenda is going to be a presentation, a proposed fee schedule for the 21-22 school year. Mr. Clyde Moore, please.
Is it turned on? Let's get your.
The President Ritchie, School Board, and Dr. Stevens, the District Fee Committee is seeking Board of Education approval on the school fee and spend plan for the 2021-2022 school year. We are asking for the board to acknowledge the changes made to the fee schedule, and they are highlighted in red. This information was gathered by working with the fee committee, who in return shared information with the schools department for feedback. This meeting is also open for public comment. The district fee committee believed that the new fee schedule and spend plan creates transparency for the schools, students, and the community. It also creates equity for all students. Based on this information, the Weber School Fee Committee is requesting the board to review and acknowledge the changes for the 2021-2022 school year fee schedule for first reading.
Clyde, thank you. There is a need for public comment, and there was a sign-up sheet. Pam, do we have anybody on the sign-up sheet? While she's checking that we need to open that up for public comment. If there's nobody on that and we've missed somebody. Okay, come on. We will limit it to 2 minutes.
On the fee schedule, sir?
On the fee schedule? Is it about the fee schedule? Then we don't have a public comment.
That's what this public meeting is for comment on the fee schedule as per state law. No, for the fee schedule.
Yeah, you missed that underneath. It says development and review of fee schedules on the description. If you had another matter, I'm sorry, we might be able to meet with you after, but this is the wrong time for any other comment other than fee.
Sir, it's not on the agenda.
No.
The president of the board, but anything that's on the agenda has to be on the agenda 24 hours in advance. It's not on the agenda. So I understand your concern. The president has indicated if you've got additional concerns, someone is more than happy to sit down with you and meet with you afterward. But the public comment section, as per state law tonight, is directed to the fee schedule.
No, you'll have to make an appointment with the appropriate person to make sure that your voice is heard, whatever your discussion is, but it's not during this one, so.
Sir, we're in the middle of a board meeting, okay? So, President?
No, I'd like to excuse him and move on. This is not pertaining to our fee schedule, so. Mr. Clyde, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Having said that, Pam, do we have anybody on the sign-up sheet? Is there anybody that would like to comment on the fee schedule that was announced? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion for the fee schedule on a first reading.
So moved.
So moved by Jan, second. Paul, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
motion carries. So we'll see you next month on the exact same thing,
Thank you,
with the
board.
understanding of a fee schedule, public hearing.
Thank you, board.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda would be a discussion and action item on the administration approved appointments for the 21-22 school year. Dr. Stevens, please.
Great. Thank you, President. Board members, we have three of our outstanding administrators who are retiring at the end of this school year. Rebecca Oakey, who has served as the principal at North Park Elementary School, Ann Holdaway, who has served as the principal at Green Acres Elementary, and Michelle Perry, who has served as principal at Fremont High School. We want to pay tribute to these outstanding educators and leaders for a lifetime of service in our school district. We greatly appreciate their leadership and the contribution that they have made, and wish them the very best as they enter into these next adventures of their life. But really want to recognize all three of them. Board, what I'd like to do is very quickly, in an action item, go through proposed advancements and then allow the board to vote on those advancements. Once we've made the advancements, we'll circle back and do some introductions and talk about assignments, very specific assignments, okay? So in terms of advancements, from elementary intern to elementary principal, Chance Adams and Jared Abney. New elementary interns, Shelley Harris and Becky Dills. Secondary advancements, new interns, Shane Denton and Jeff Jackson. From secondary intern to junior high assistant principal, Mike Brown. From junior high assistant principal to high school assistant principal, Don Morse. From high school assistant principal to high school principal, Alicia Mitchell. Board, I'd entertain a motion to approve those advancements.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by
President
Jan,
Ritchie.
second. Second by Paul. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Dean. That carries. Superintendent, please carry on.
Great. Okay, let's kind of circle back, and I'm going to start with Fremont High School. Replacing Michelle Perry as principal at Fremont High School will be Alicia Mitchell. Alicia, if you'd like to come forward, and while you do, let me just share with the board a little bit about your background. Alicia has her Bachelor's of Science degree in secondary education, English, at UNLV. She also has a Master's of Education in Leadership and Supervision from Southern Utah University. Altogether, Alicia has 16 years in education. That teaching career began in Las Vegas, and then she moved into the Weaver School District, where she taught at Fremont High School English for 8 years. She was an intern at Roy High School, an assistant principal at T.H. Bell Junior High, Roy High, and currently at Fremont High. Alicia enjoys water and snow skiing, camping, reading, and time with family. Alicia.
I just want to take this opportunity to thank the board first, and then Superintendent Stevens for this opportunity. I'm extremely excited. I know I will fill very big shoes with Michelle Perry. I want to also thank the Secondary Education Department and the many, many mentors that I've had over the years. I've had some incredible mentors, and I would like to thank specifically Gina Butters for her mentorship, and then Michelle Perry as my last and most recent mentor. She has been an incredible help to me as I've finished off getting prepared. And I want to thank my family just for their support, and specifically my husband, and 100% this amazing person that I brought with me. This is my daughter. She is my absolute joy. And I can't wait to begin this journey, and I am extremely excited to just take off with the Silver Wolves. They are special people, and that is a special place. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Alicia, and congratulations. Replacing Alicia Mitchell as assistant principal at Fremont High School will be Quincy Mogalich. Quincy currently is an assistant principal at Weber High School. Replacing Quincy as assistant principal at Weber High School will be Rob Lake. Rob is currently an assistant principal at Roy High School. Replacing Rob Lake as assistant principal at Roy High School will be Bryce Balloff. Bryce is currently an assistant principal at Weber High. By the way, board, in order to help with social distancing, we only invited those people here who were being advanced. So those that I just read where it's more of a lateral move, they may be joining us virtually, and we thank them for their service. Replacing Bryce as assistant principal at Weber High School is Nick Reyes. Nick is currently an assistant principal at Bonneville High School. Replacing Nick as assistant principal at Bonneville High School is Don Morse. Don is currently the assistant principal at North Ogden Junior High. Don, would you like to come up? And as you do, let me just give the board a little background on Don. Don has his bachelor's degree in Spanish from Weber State University and his master's degree in educational leadership from Western Governors University. Don has been in the Weber School District for 16 years, where he was a Spanish teacher and coach at Sandridge Junior High and Walquist Junior High. He was an intern at Fremont for 2 years and has been an assistant principal at North Ogden Junior High for the last 4 years, where he's been very successful. Don is here with his lovely wife, Nikki, who has done a lot of coaching for us in the school district as well. Not as a teacher, but has walked on and just had a great impact on young people. Nikki, welcome. Don loves all kinds of sports, camping, biking, and ice fishing.
President, board, superintendent, thank you. We've had a great last 4 years at the junior high school, working with Mrs. Long as a wonderful principal. The adage that it takes a village to raise a child is certainly true. We've had just tremendous support, especially this year, from our faculty, our staff, parents, and students have just been wonderful. And so it's been great to work out there, and now I look forward to continuing to serve the students of Weber County at Bonneville High. Thank you.
Don, thank you so much. Replacing Don as assistant principal at North Ogden Junior High is Mike Brown. Mike is currently the intern at Fremont High School. Come on up, Mike. Mike has his bachelor's degree in integrated studies with an emphasis on ethnic studies, as well as criminal justice from Weber State University. Mike's master's degree is in educational counseling and a principal licensure from the University of Phoenix. Don has been in the Weber School District for 13 years. He was a counselor at Walquist Junior High and Roy High for 10 years before serving as an intern at Fremont for the last 3 years. Mike coached wrestling at both Roy High and Fremont High. He's coached boys and girls golf at Roy High, and for 15 years, Mike worked as a treatment counselor at Utah Juvenile Justice Center. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you. Very happy to be here in person. It's really good to see you guys. I'm glad that you did this. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Really looking forward to it. Superintendency, school board, our secondary directors, thank you so much for your mentoring and all of your help. I do have to thank my administrative team at Fremont for all their help, specifically Michelle Perry. She will definitely be missed. Looking forward to go and work with Wendy Long. I know I have some big shoes to fill, Don, but I thank you guys for the opportunity, and I'm excited and looking forward to it.
Great,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Replacing Mike as the intern at Fremont High School is Patrick Andrus. Patrick currently is the intern at Bonneville High School. Replacing Patrick as the intern at Bonneville is Shane Denton. Shane, come on up. Shane has his bachelor's degree in chemistry from Weber State University, and he is an outstanding chemistry teacher. I've been in his classroom and watched him teach. Shane's master's degree is in educational leadership from Southern Utah. Shane has been in our school district for 23 years, all at Fremont High School. He's coached football and wrestling at Fremont, and he's been the PM principal at Fremont for the past 15 years. Shane is married to his lovely wife, Christy. They have 2 sons and a grandson. He enjoys spending time with family, riding 4-wheelers, and collecting sports memorabilia. Shane, welcome.
Thank you, Superintendent, Board. First thing I'd like to do is thank my lovely wife. Without her, I know I wouldn't be here. I'm gonna be honest. When Gina and Clyde came to my class the other day, I shed a tear for the fact that I've taught for 23 years. I've been in the classroom a long time. I've taught a lot of kids. One of my former students is becoming an elementary principal today. I believe I taught your grandson, I think, as well. I'd love to teach, but I'm going to be honest, I'm really excited. I'm excited for a new chapter in my life and an opportunity to go and work with Alicia's fine husband, Brock, and Mr. Morse. We're going to the same place. We've worked together before, so I think it's going to be a great step, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks, Shane, and congratulations. Board, this year we've also appointed a junior high intern, and that's with a couple of things in mind. One of them, of course, is that because of the pandemic and some of the concerns that occurred in our junior high schools, we've got some young people who have experienced significant either academic loss or social and emotional impact. So we have also appointed as a new junior high intern, Jeff Jackson. Jeff, would you come up? Jeff has his bachelor's degree in German and math from Weber State University, and his master's of education in curriculum and instruction from Weber State University. Jeff has been in our school district for 26 years. He's taught at South Ogden Junior High, Bonneville, Sandridge, Roy Jr., Fremont, and T.H. Bell Junior High. Jeff is married to his lovely wife, Camille, who is a teacher for us also. Welcome, Camille. Jeff enjoys spending time at home or on vacations, swimming, walks along the river, yard work, singing, reading, writing, playing the piano, and bird watching. Board, Jeff, was it 3 years ago that you were our Teacher of the Year? Yeah. In 2018, I believe it was. Jeff is a remarkable teacher. You've heard the adage that people are programs, and wherever Jeff has gone, those programs have flourished because of his work, his leadership. Jeff, we welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Board and President Ritchie and Dr. Stevens, I am just thrilled with this, with the trust that you are placing in me to help students at the junior high level as a leader, an educational leader, and I have been so blessed with the mentoring of so many wonderful, amazing administrators. I know the expectation is high here in Weber School District, because we have such wonderful administrators. And so I appreciate the mentoring that I've received from so many of you. There are so many in this room that I see that I love and appreciate the kindness and the hard work that you've expected from me and helping me to be able to have this opportunity. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Jeff. Now, board, let's shift our focus to elementary schools. I mentioned that Ann Holdaway, who's currently the principal at Green Acres, is retiring. Replacing Ann as the principal at Green Acres is Justin Willie. Justin currently is the principal at Canesville Elementary School. Replacing Justin as principal at Canesville Elementary is Chance Adams. Chance, do you want to come forward? Chance, board, has his bachelor's in elementary education with a Spanish teaching minor from Weber State University and his master's in education at Southern Utah University. Chance has been in the school district for 13 years. He began as an ESL aide at Club Heights Elementary School. He taught 5th grade for 6 years at Majestic, 3 years at Plain City, and has been also a math curriculum fellow working with Sherry Hyder in the curriculum department. This year, as an administrative intern at Birch Creek and West Haven, Chance has been very successful. Chance is married to his wife Aubrey. They have 2 children, and Chance enjoys spending time outdoors, camping, golfing, gardening, and playing in the yard. Chance, welcome.
All right, well, thank you. I want to thank the board and the superintendency for this great opportunity to go here. My wife and I have just been, this kind of been one of the goals, and a little surreal that it's here now. So I also want to thank Cammie and Dave. They've been great over the elementary department and really coaching and helping guide me. I've also had a great opportunity to have some great principals that I've worked under, and they've taken care of me and they've mentored me, and I want to appreciate them for their example and how they've taught me. And I've also been lucky to have great examples in my life. My mom's a teacher, and I have a line of educators in my family, and obviously I've had some good teachers that have helped me get here as well. So and least of all, or most of all, or whatever, last but not least, my wife. She's the most important person to me, and is the rock of my little family that I've got, and I want to thank her and look forward to this next adventure. So thank you.
Thanks, Chance, and congratulations. Replacing Chance as an elementary intern is Shelly Harris. Shelly, do you want to come up? Shelly has her bachelor's degree from Dixie College, her reading endorsement, a master's in reading and literacy, and her administrative certificate from Utah State University. Shelly has taught for 16 years, 15 of those in the Weber School District. She taught 1 year in Washington School District. She's been an EL coordinator and a coach with the Tooele School District. She has taught 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade within our district, and she's also been a reading coach. Currently, Shelly is the Title I coordinator at Roosevelt Elementary. Her significant other, Casey, and 3 children and 1 granddaughter, Layla. Shelly, congratulations and welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens and the members of the board. I'm so excited to be here. It's been a long road, and I have just loved every minute of it. I've had such joy teaching in the classroom, and I had a few tears today as well, thinking about the little angels that I'm leaving. Some of them aren't very angelic sometimes, but they got my heart. So it's going to be a new adventure, a new chapter. I'm very excited. So thank Cammie and Dave and their mentorship as well, and my awesome principal, Kitty Barney. I've been with her, kind of followed her a little bit because she's just been an amazing leader for me and an amazing mentor, and I appreciate her. Also very much appreciate the support of Casey and my children. They're all grown, but I think they're joining us somewhere, so I hope. But I appreciate this opportunity. I'm so excited, so thank you.
Great. Replacing Becky Oakey as the principal at North Park Elementary School will be Jared Abney. Jared, come on up. Jared has his Bachelor's of Science with a dual license in both elementary and special education from Weber State as well as a master's in curriculum and instruction from Weber State and his administrative license from Utah State. Jared has been in our school district for 11 years. He's been a resource teacher at Roy High School, a self-contained teacher at Canyon View in Canesville. And I'm going to pause a moment. I first met Jared in his self-contained class at Canyon View and just immediately gained such tremendous respect for him, watching him with these children at Canyon View. Just remarkable. He taught 5th grade at Majestic, special education mentor at Sandridge, a supervisor, Tier 2 social and emotional learning units at Canesville, Midland, and West Haven. He's been an administrative intern at Silver Ridge, Washington Terrace, and Canesville. Jared is married to his wife, Jamie. They have 5 children, and Jared enjoys time with family, hiking, backpacking, camping, and gardening. Jared, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for that compliment, Dr. Stevens. Thank you, board, for this opportunity. I'd like to thank my wife for all of her help. Jamie has been, she's been so supportive. I forgot to add that she's actually a school nurse here in the district as well, in North Ogden and Green Acres, and she probably deserves more of a compliment than even me for all the work that she's done during the pandemic. I'd like to thank Cammie and Dave. They've been wonderful in guiding and directing me, letting me work with wonderful principals, with Brian and Katie and Justin. They have kind of showed me the ropes, and I really appreciate that. There's part of me that wishes I could learn just a little bit more now that this opportunity's come, but I'm so grateful for this. I'm grateful to head back to Roy, kind of back to where I started, and to be in the Roy Cone. And so thanks again for this great opportunity.
Thank you, Jared. Replacing Jared as an elementary intern is Becky Dills. Becky, come on up. Becky has her bachelor's degree from Weber State, an ESL and reading endorsement, and currently working on her Master's of Educational Leadership through Western Governors University. Becky has been in our school district for 24 years, where she's taught 3rd grade, kindergarten for 7 years, 1st grade for 8 years, and she's been a reading specialist for 8 years. She's trained in Acadiance reading and currently the instructional coach at Freedom Elementary. Becky is married with 1 daughter, a grandson, and a granddaughter. Granddaughter coming in May, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
I had a grandson last night.
Oh, how exciting.
So those are exciting times for a grandparent. Enjoys playing with her grandson, gardening, camping, reading, and relaxing with family. Becky, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you. My greatest heartfelt thanks to the board and to Dr. Stevens for this wonderful opportunity, and Cammie and Dave for having faith and confidence in my ability to take this position. My goal of today is to not shed a tear. I am overwhelmed and so excited for this opportunity. And I think actually when Becky Oki walked in the hallway, it actually started the tears. And then seeing former principals and Christy and just people who have meant so much to me and have set the example that hopefully will guide me through this. I owe a special thanks to Diane Rockwood. She's the one that pushed me and showed me that I was capable of doing this. And I'd like to introduce my husband, Joel. He is my rock. He is my biggest cheerleader. He is the person that makes all of this possible. My daughter and son-in-law and hopefully grandson are watching. We'll see, he's 2, so I don't know how. They told him you can watch grandma on TV today, so this is pretty exciting. But they are also such a big support, and I'd like to thank my parents for teaching me the importance of education and for giving me such a strong work ethic. I hope to prove to you that I'm ready for this position and that I will be able to serve the students of Weber School District because they are what counts. Thank you.
Thanks, Becky. President and board, it's always a challenge for me each year to see remarkable educators conclude their career and step into retirement. And it's no different this year. But one thing I've seen year after year after year are individuals, great educators who are prepared and excited to grow into these positions. And we've got some outstanding individuals who will make their schools strong, take them to a higher level, and it's a privilege to work with each one of them. Thanks, President.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens, and congratulations to all those in the room and those visiting. First of all, for your patience, and second of all, for continuing to be part of the Weaver team and teaching the most important things that was mentioned a couple times, and that's the kids of our district. It's the future of where we're at. So congratulations. Normally we have a chance to shake your hands, but you know what? I'm just so glad that we're back in the same room. And with that, congratulations, best of luck. We're going to give you a minute to just kind of move out, and we will kind of hold the meeting for
They
just a
can
second.
stay. We've got an exciting parameters resolution to pass. We've got a revision of a policy that Jamie's going to take us through. So you're welcome. I mean, Robert will say that the most exciting is yet to come.
That may be why you want to leave.
The parameters resolution. Well, we're going into closed session. But they're hanging out. We're going into closed session. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to get a little extra punch for that. Sid responded to multiple times. He's got the answers. Any chance the guy that stood up wanted to speak was his last name McCartan? That's the guy. I think you might take that job. Somebody that's into it and said, we've heard you. We went through a process to listen where we sent this framework out. Hundreds of reviews. We had 3 public hearings on it. But it might just take somebody. Well,
Get it off the website.
the issue is, like I said,
But the real thing is if you really go back on it and just read this legislative thing for
well, now what they're saying is that extra, you can accept an exemption from signing. Well, that's what you said. What they want now is an exemption form that they sign. So they've shifted gears, saying now that they recognize that the board doesn't have authority to remove the mask. So now what they're saying is the board has to provide today. They're saying on the mask order, school may note from the doctor.
Thank you, Lane, for closing those. I think we'll move on, board, reconvene onto our agenda, which would be item number 5, approval of revised policy 4120, student discrimination and harassment policy. Ms. Jamie Ellis, please.
Thank you, Superintendent and Board. It's wonderful to be here in front of you. I have to say thank you so much for this opportunity. It's an incredible opportunity, and because of COVID, I wasn't able to personally thank each of you for this. So it's a pleasure to be here tonight to talk to you about an update to our policy 4120. It's in your board packet. The policy outlines the district's policy regarding discrimination and harassment under the Civil Rights Law and Title IX, prohibiting discrimination on the basis of race, color, national origin, sex, and disability. The revised policy separates conduct that is considered, discrimination and conduct that is considered harassment. It provides specific examples for each and procedures for administrators when they receive a complaint of discrimination or harassment. The current policy does not include those procedures for discrimination or harassment on the basis of race, color, national origin, and it does not separate out the discrimination from harassment. This policy also references our new Title IX sexual harassment policy and describes how that policy applies to various policies in 4120. So at this time, I'd like to ask the board's approval of this policy on the first read.
Thank you, Jamie. Board, you've heard the presentation on the revision of policy 4120, student discrimination and harassment policy on the first reading. I'd entertain a motion to accept.
May I ask a question? At what point?
After the vote, if you would, please.
Okay.
After the second.
After the second.
Paul makes the motion. Doug makes the second. Now discussion. Go ahead, Janice, please.
I believe that these variations are very critical and very important, and I'm so excited to see them going forward in a positive way. My question is this between first and second reading an opportunity for us as a board to examine specifics about the program, about the variations or changes?
Absolutely.
Yes.
We hope that, as soon as you receive this, even prior to this meeting, that you'd begin reviewing those. But certainly that's the intent, not only for the board to review during this one won't be 30 days because, the next board meeting's on May 5th. So, but from one board meeting to the next, the other, Janice, would be any input that we're receiving from constituents, from teachers. So that's the purpose of the two readings, and the period between the two readings is any input, so that we welcome that input from board, constituents, teachers, staff, etc.
With that input and the second reading, then where is the opportunity for amendment or change? Do you decline on the second reading because of desired changes, or what do you do?
It's not uncommon to have some minor revisions, that you've received feedback. A lot of this is making sure that we're in compliance with state and federal law. For example, the Title IX laws completely changed under the previous administration, and we need to make sure that our policy reflects those federal changes. So much of this, as it relates to discrimination against a protected class, Title IX, and some of the things, as Jamie said, our current policy did not differentiate between harassment and
discrimination.
discrimination. And the current law, federal and state, requires that. So much of this is coming into compliance with federal and state law. So if there's suggestions made, we certainly want to listen to those, but we're not going to do anything that doesn't bring us into compliance with state and federal law on those matters as well. So if the revisions are minor, we'll make those minor adjustments and get those revisions to the board prior to the May 5th board meeting for you to review. There's no requirement that the board has to approve that on May 5th for a second reading. If for some reason there's a concern, then we want to know about it. Now, my hope would be that if there's a concern, that it's brought up before the May 5th meeting so we can address it. And whether that involves Heidi or Jamie or whomever. So absolutely, this is absolutely the opportunity for the
Just
board.
a step forward. This is a
Absolute.
step forward.
Correct.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you so much,
Thank
Jamie.
you. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you, Janice, for that discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Dean. Motion
Thank you.
carries. We'll see you next month and any feedback. The next item on our agenda is consideration of resolution authorizing issuance of a $17 million general refunding bond. Dr. Robert Peterson, please, and welcome Ryan Bajerski.
Bjerke. No, you gotta pronounce it right.
I didn't do the pledge of allegiance, you know.
Yeah. Okay, all right, I will, be brief, President. And we do have Ryan Bjerke from Chapman and Cutler. He brought the needed documents to sign. And, and he'll also correct me if I say anything as a miscue. But we have a chance for a refunding of Series 2012 bonds. We owe a little under 17 million, like 16.8 million left on those bonds. And when they were issued back in 2012, the interest rate is much higher than it is today. And, but these bonds were when they were issued, were tax exempt. And so with a tax exempt bond, you get a little lower interest rate. And with the tax exempt bond, you have to wait until the callable date before you can refund. And these aren't callable till a year from June. But you can change the status. Our financial advisors with Stiefel, Preston Kirk, and Matt Dugdale alert us to the fact that we can go out and refund these as taxable bonds, and the interest rate is slightly higher, but still very low, down in the ones. And that's what we expect to get with significant savings. We don't know what the future will be next year with interest rates. They may go up. They're so low, they may go up. And so we are going to realize significant savings with this. The other thing is it gives us a chance to restructure even more our current debt, and we can layer in, we can create more space to layer in debt. Should the board decide to go to a bond election, we can more easily layer in debt at a savings to the taxpayer and the tax rate. So it's kind of a cool thing. Now with this parameters resolution, you're not locked into anything because it starts a waiting period, but we can't act unless we do a parameters resolution. So when it comes time to close on these, the atmosphere, the climate might be different, and we can pull back. We don't have to do it. So at this time, I'd like to ask that you approve this parameters resolution. And do you have anything to add, Ryan?
No, I think you covered it very well, Robert. If you have any questions, just let me know.
Okay.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Robert. Board, you've heard the presentation, and so I would consider, I'd make a motion or entertain a motion that we consider a resolution authorization issuance of a $17 million general refunding bond parameters resolution.
So moved.
So moved by Janice. Second by Doug. Any discussion?
I'll just mention to the board that this is so vital as we prepare for a bond election in the fall. Certainly there will be a savings because the interest rate's lower than what we were able to get in 2012. But maybe even more important than that savings is the opportunity to restructure our existing debt in a way that allows us to go to the public with a pretty significant bond, as we talked about in our study session, without raising the tax rate. And that is a remarkable thing. So that this is one of those steps financially that's just positioning us that will allow us for that bond to occur
Without any
without a rate
issue, because we
increase.
don't have to
Yeah.
do anything if we don't choose to. But if we do, we have that door open, which is a plus for us. Thank you, Superintendent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Motion carries, Robert and Ryan, thank you. Board, we have need for a closed session. According to the provisions of the Utah Code 52-4-204-205, this meeting is a strategy session to discuss the sale of real estate property. Entertain a motion to go into closed session. So moved by Paul, second by Jan. Any discussion? All in favor?
No, we need a roll call at this
Oh,
point.
roll call, Robert.
I do. I'll go and we'll one by one, and you say yea or nay. Jan Burrell,
Aye.
or I will get to Paul Whittison.
Yay.
Janice Christensen. Doug Hurst. Dean O'Ward.
Aye.
And John Ritchie.
Aye.
Very good.
Thank you. Thanks to those out there, those who helped put this together. Be safe and have a good night. Thank you.
I think maybe we go into, let's go into my office, and Dean, we may need to send you another Zoom link. Is it just on your email?